welcome to a very special, well, sort of.
Well,
it's
not really
a me
special,
and Matt
is it?
Tuesday afternoon, 2 to 4 show. Slightly new format. We thought we'd give it a bit of a whirl, see how we're all doing. Hope you're all doing very well at home. If somebody in chat, because there's a few of you in there, can give us a thumbs up to say you can hear us and see us and all the rest of it.
Mr. Buller's in. Happy birthday, John.
Happy birthday, John. He said to me he's halfway to 60. I think he's fibbing. All good. Thank you, Andy. Very, very nice. Yep, that's it. Oh, good. We're all okay. Let me just adjust my levels here a little bit. That's good. Sound is all good. Very nice. Yes, happy birthday. Our very own John, Mr. Buller from the team. He is, again, 25, apparently, and doing it. So very good. Happy birthday to you.
I thought you were out today, John. I thought you were being dragged out with Lynn.
Oh, was he?
Apparently, he said yesterday, unless they've been out this morning and come back, obviously, because he's on. Unless he's watching on his phone.
Yeah, he's out somewhere.
I'm going to sneak off to the toilet.
Sneaking it on.
Yeah. No.
So, yes, very good. Anyway, it's a bit of a different show. As you say, normally on a Tuesday, I barely do something or other and yap our way through. But we thought we'd throw open a bit of a live show for a couple of hours on a Tuesday afternoon. So, it's a bit like the old Live at 5 meets Wednesday morning,
what we used to do,
Thursday afternoon, but in other words, it's a bit like the COVID shows.
Saturday morning
show, all those things. Yeah. Oh, John's back now. He's all right. He's escaped.
Has he been let out? Has he?
Yes, he's been allowed out into his man cave for his birthday. So that's the format. So, to be honest, when we say format, there is no real format to this. What we're going to do is talk about, obviously, what we're up to, what we've been doing, anybody who got any ideas, and talk about and show things, anything else like that. Matt's working on, what are you working on? Look, Matt can go full screen. Look at
all sorts at the minute. I'm back on with the Mustang.
Mm-hmm.
So I've dug it back out because obviously I started it one Saturday live show, was it? When we were doing, this is going to be like my 70s group build. So if anybody who didn't see it, it is the old 007 Diamonds Are Forever one, which was on a few weeks ago.
It was indeed, yes.
All right, got bloody right shine there. So that's this kit. It's showing its age, shall we say. There's more spare parts than there is actually I need to build the kit because you could do all sorts of versions.
Mm-hmm.
But it's actually all right. It's getting there.
Is that the one that does the corkscrew?
No, this is the one that goes on two wheels down the alleyway around Vegas.
Oh, it goes down the alley. Yeah, got you.
Yeah. That was an AMC Rambler, I think. What did the corkscrew in the other film? Man with a golden gun on it. That was it.
Yes.
So anyway, So I'm back on with this for the time being. I've also completed the video build for that. The painting part, because it was just a demo of... I'll tell you what, hold on. Let me just switch cams. So when my man's feeling better, and he's got some editing to do. So there we go.
Very nice.
So that's just the little tack and panzer one.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd already built it over Christmas, so I've just done a bit of a painting and weathering demo on Panzer Grey. So really, really nice kit. Gotta say, really, really enjoyed it. Especially when you get two in the box as well, so you can do each version.
Yes.
But there's a bit of oils on there, bit of enamels. I went over weathered it, but just give it a bit of wear. Obviously, this was France 1941. I did out the box, which I didn't realise when I painted it. I painted it just grey, not looking at the instructions, usual thing, and. Thought, better check for the decals and stuff. And then it's got like the reddy brown camo on it, so I had to have that sort of quick before I carried on with it. But
fair enough. Good catch.
It would have been. Yeah, can you imagine putting the decals on and then realising that would have been a bit embarrassing, wouldn't it? Somebody would have pointed it out. It would have been camouflaged then and all that. But actually, I quite like it camo because it does break it up a bit. From just Panzer Grey.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
So that's what I've just finished off. I think last week I did the last bit of that filming. Just got to do the final rotatory bit on the whatchamacallit,
So my question is, why is the turret off-centered? What's the theory behind that? Do we know?
Because it's tiny. It's only a two-man tank.
I know. Well, is that so? Yeah, I know that it's an Ickle tank.
Well, look. because there you get in and out. Look, there's a hatch at the side.
Oh, right. Is that the door for getting in and out?
That's the door of in and out of it, pretty much, yeah. So you've got your little driver who's, I would have thought, sat here on that one, and then you've got the commander figure where you can see, look,
Yes. Oh, right, yeah, it is very,
how
very
small it is compared to him. It's like,
Yes.
I think my Beamer's about as big. So, they weren't very big. They weren't very big tanks. So, but yeah, and then that's about it. I'm just deciding what I'm going to do for my next video build. I'm really, how can I put it, in a dilemma of what to do. You know, when you just got that many options. I've not got the enthusiasm, because I've got loads, and I think that's the other problem. I've got so much enthusiasm, I don't know what to build. I've got a few ideas, but I don't know at the minute. I need to pick a subject and crack on with it. So.
I know. I'm very much similar to that one. Clearly, I must admit, we're not losing the will to live, because I'm back on it now. I'm into my happy zone because it's weathering and stuff like that. Yeah. But as I say, the Hornet is all done. It just needs to go together and be weathered. But as I said, I've done some filming this morning on this, finishing off the bits we're talking about with the decals and everything. And you know, it's been one of those love-hate relationships with this kit. Like I was talking to Matt just before we came on air, it's one of those ones where it's probably more annoying that it got released with the faults it did when they should have been fixed. If it had been fixed, this thing about, you know, you have to take 1 mil off here, there and everywhere and all the rest of it, if that had been fixed, it would have been an acceptable kit that Revell released. You know, because you're always going to get that thing. They always have a little bit of flash, they have sink marks, they have things, but you sort of almost expect it because they do come in normally at a reasonable price. The great thing about this kit is it's really, really detailed. It's got details that knock the old Trumpeter one completely out of the water. And again, from an age point of view, the Trumpeter one is definitely showing it now. And also it was designed of being like a block 10 or whatever it is down in there, or a lot 10 or whatever it is. Now this one is done, it's like a lot 30 or something else I've done this one as. So it's a far older one, it's got a lot more upgrades, it's got more bits and pieces on it, all the refined little details, and they are on this kit. And to be honest, it's got some really nice touches, which are, if I just switch cameras, and give you a bit of a walk around. So generally it is, you know, pretty much Hornet, as you might imagine, right the way through. So we've done some upgrades on this. So we changed off the ECS pipes for the more modern one again, but the nozzles at the back, like we were saying, these things in here are really very, very nice. If I try and go for a close-up, it's a bit tricky on the close-up because the close-up camera is very close, but we've put in those little tiles because they're sort of ceramic-y down there and all the rest of it, but they're actually really quite nice. You know, you can't see it in there, but it's got the afterburner rings, and the details of the engine is really, really nice with no problem at all. You know, and again, some of the little refined details on here for the hatches and the various bits and pieces are really nice, but it's let down because there's not a lot of detail in the wheel wells. It really needs plumbing if you just go to town with it for both of those. But again, it's hanging down, you probably don't really notice it. But the cockpit, again, we've done a simple upgrade because the decals are a little bit of a weak spot, but that's fine. But everywhere else is really very, very nice. And so, you know, it's going to make, I think, a very, very nice, very sort of impressive model once it's all done and all the rest of it. And it would stand up to anything sort of Tamiya and those bits and pieces right next to it. But again, it's just one of those, from my point of view as a builder, and quite an experienced builder, is that if you weren't an experienced builder, like a lot of people coming into the hobby, this would be the nightmare kit, because if you've suddenly got to start chopping things about, and if you go chop too much off, it's going to be horrible. It's going to be a loose fit all internally, you know. So it's one of those ones where I feel for a more, you know, let's say a junior modeler or somebody else hasn't been doing it that long, who's going to come along and fall over this kit because he's going to think it's a new kit. It's been out, what, 5 years now from the first iteration. I've heard the growlers coming down the line very shortly as well. So you're going to think, oh, it's a brand new kit, it's going to be fantastic. It's not. It's horrible. It's just lumpy and clunky and very thingy, you know. But if it had been sorted out, this would be actually a really, really nice, very, very acceptable kit. And I think that's why I've got this sort of love-hate relationship with it, purely because it's one of those that could have been so good if they had fixed the problem, you know, but they didn't, and they let it go out, and I think that's somewhat acceptable. But other details onto it is very nice. So we got things like, we got the gear. This is all out of the box gear, so it's actually resin wheels admittedly, but to be honest, they're not much over the other ones, but the gear is very nice. The front gear is all done. This is completely out of the box. You see the light, I put in a daub of PVA glue to sort that out, but all the decals come in the box as well, so they're all very, very nice as well, so that's all pretty good stuff. So generally it's one of those kits. It's a gripey kit, But actually, when it's done, I think it's going to look really, really impressive. And it will stand up against pretty much anything we were saying. And I think it is going to be a better kit once it's done than certainly the Trumpeter one is, because you do need to throw a bit of money at the Trumpeter one to get it up to today's standard. So yes, but no, been decaling purely for the last 3 days really on this thing, because again, it's got decals all over it. It's typical Navy. It's got no steps over it, all the markings, all the bits and pieces, and because it is so big, we've done them all as separate. So these are all done separately, ready to go in. So we're going to weather it probably tomorrow, all separately, and go through the motions of it like that. So that's literally perfect. The Hurricane hasn't moved any more since last week, because I've been working on this thing to get this one done. And again, this is literally just ready for a wash. It's had a satin finish right the way over it, just to get the decals to the same sort of surface as everywhere else. So that's all done. So this is now just literally ready for a wash, and then it's going to be going through with the oil treatment to this one and everything else. And then again, we can put it all together. It's all done. It just needs to literally go together. So yeah. Good times ahead, I feel. It should be quite a lot of fun this week, because it's one of those weeks where we're going to be going, full tilt at it with the weathering processes. So,
just while you're on with your Hurricane, the next batch are coming in. They've been ordered.
Cool.
So hopefully next week they should be in. So everybody's put their name down for the next batch, if you know what I mean. Hopefully, you'll be getting them soon, so you can build along with Phil.
You can. And
we were just saying about that Hornet though, weren't we, just before we came on here and a bit of a chat, and I think it's a victim of timing.
Yes.
With what happened with Ravel. Because I think if obviously that hadn't happened and it was all normal, I don't think that would have got produced, as in, or it would have came out with the problems it's got. I don't think they would have let it. It's just with the upheaval and whatever else happened, I think they just rushed it through. They just needed to get it out there on the market, and it's a shame really. I think like you said with the Growler coming out, it's with the faults known on that one, I don't think it's right that the Growler's coming out with the same faults and you've got a load of corrections and fit issues and stuff. So
yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, that bit don't sit right to me. But there you go.
Yeah, it just annoys me where we were talking about before the show. A lot of the manufacturers out there have addressed when these things happen, because we had it with the B52, wasn't it? And the B52 got pulled and has been reshaped and everything else for the front end of it because it was wrong. We had one of the ICM kits had a bit of a problem that was withdrawn, fixed, and all the rest of it. Certain manufacturers just don't bother and they just keep it out. But it wouldn't be so bad if it was just the original release, like the Echo had it. But now they've done it to this one on the Foxtrot, and then the Growler, the G's going to have it as well, and you're like, that's just somewhat taking the piss.
It is a little. I think it is a little bit with it, because it's not just a little fault, is it? There's quite a lot of corrections, and there's quite a lot wrong with it to begin with, isn't there? You know what I mean? It's not just a little that needs correcting. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think that's right, but there you go.
But no.
So, but it's looking good. You've beaten it into shape.
Yes, it has. And I must admit, it's one of those where, as you say, I will look back on it with great fondness that I managed to beat it back. Like we were saying, it's that thing, isn't it? Like the Wessex, the Bear, the VC10. You remember building them.
The thing is, though, with them two kits, the Wessex was basic and pretty going to be limited run. So you knew that, yeah? Obviously, you know how old the Bear was. You knew its faults. You know its early trumpeter, blah, blah, blah. That one I don't think is acceptable. Not a 5-year-old kit. No. Not from Ravel. No. If I'm honest, everything else they've produced, like the other 30-second stuff is not the old stuff. I mean, the newer is nice base. It's pretty basic, but it's all there. It's buildable. Yes. You're not chopping bits and trying to fit bits and sanding it into shape and whatever else, fighting it basically, are you? So,
no.
Yeah.
No. But again, we're there now. Happy memories.
Yes,
so I'll be pushing on with it and doing its bit. It should be really, really nice. But anyway, the part that was up yesterday was the part that had the small hiccup with hard drives. I know I've had a few people message me about how to do it. Again, it's not so much the technology failing. It may have been me getting a bit over eager, because what normally happens is, just to say, we run, technically there's 4 cameras in here that are always rolling, and there's 3 microphones. That footage is technically onto, as we have here, because I have to go out and buy them all the time because they don't last very long, but SD cards, right? They're my backup, because everything that's recorded goes onto an SD card and is a backup. What also happens though, it puts it onto a hard drive, and it's a 2 terabyte hard drive, and all that footage goes onto that, and then it goes up to another computer which does the actual editing, because that's the supercomputer upstairs, and it's great for editing. So normally what happens is I do not delete the backups. This one time I happened to delete the backups because what it was, I got so far ahead of myself, I forgot what I'd edited and what I hadn't. So normally once it's up and it's safe upstairs and all the rest of it, I delete the backups. What happened was the passport drive, the 2 terabyte one, which takes all the information from here and it goes up to the upstairs computer, basically melted internally and died. And then I thought, oh, that's not a problem. I've got the backups. And when I came to editing, I'm like, where's the backups? So then I did the actual, try and get them. But because the backups were all formatted multiple times during the week, there was no usable footage left on them. So, and that is the problem. But yes, I do have a NAS drive for people who are pointing that out and everything else, and everything is backed up. But one of the trouble here, when you're shooting in, 3 4K cameras, that one's a 1080 behind and all the rest of it, but they're all in 60 and everything else. The file sizes are absolutely immense. It's literally terabytes a day sometimes we're actually recording. So I don't keep original footage. Once the video build has been completed, for instance, the raw footage gets deleted, because otherwise, if you can imagine, I would have hard drives. One, it would cost me a fortune in storage, but secondly, where would you put them all? So literally, obviously the completed videos are all backed up, as is all the photos, and some of it's on cloud, some of it's on multiple hard drives all over the place and everything. But raw footage, once it's been done and completed and we're happy, then they get wiped. So we go again.
It's never ending, isn't it, really? I mean, I try and do 10, 15-minute segments of filming. So I've only obviously got one camera and it just goes on a cloud basically, and then it gets passed over and Andy does the editing for it. But I've got to I can't just have a camera running and just burning data and space, to be honest. It just can't. And then poor old Andy's got to sit there, watch it 1,500 times to find out what he can use and what he can't. That's the other problem. And I point through enough. I can't point through that as well because I just tip him over the edge.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like you always said. It's not the filming that's the problem, is it? It's the editing.
Yeah,
and the
editing takes longer than the filming.
I tell you what, Rick's on. Rick will tell you. Rick Greenwood's on. He's got his YouTube channel. He'll tell you what it is, because I think he puts them up. Half an hour's sort of, what is it? Half an hour's film is about 2.5 hours editing or 2 hours editing, isn't it?
Yeah, you just double it.
It is, and then when you stick your head in the way and not his shot, not even
turn the microphone on.
Oh dear, yeah, it is. But it is what it is. It's
So out of interest, for people who are watching who have seen the Hornet build and the Hurricane build, what do you think to the new camera angle? Because obviously I've got another camera in the spray booth now. We have 2. We have the nice side of head and crutch shot, as I call it. But I do try and crop that out.
Do you breathe in?
Breathe in.
Yeah, exactly. Wearing black.
But over the last literally 2 video builds, I've tried another camera, because you've always got this thing where technically it's better if it's on the left-hand side, but if you're holding the model and painting it, that's the blind side. So you need something there that can see it, but you also need it at a certain angle so your airbrush and your hand aren't covering what you're doing. So that's the trouble sometimes with an overhead, is that if you're spraying, all you see is the back of your hand and an airbrush, but you can't see what's going on. So what I've tried to do this time, we've got another camera now in the spray booth, so we run 2 in there from the side. So in those instances where you get a nice clean shot and you can see how the distance is, because obviously when you have the camera above you, sometimes it's a bit of a, if I'm just spraying, you can't see how far away I am. And one of those questions I get asked a lot is like air pressure and distance. Now you can physically see I'm literally only, maybe 5-6 centimeters maximum away from the model. So if I'm doing normal paint work, if we're dusting it on, obviously we're further away. But yes, so if you have seen it, let me know.
Doing the filming bit, the actual build part filming is not that bad. It is painting, I think, is a bit of a problem, like you say, because you do get your hand in the way. You're wafting an airbrush around. I mean, I have to have mine here, obviously being left-handed, obviously no point having it this side. So my one camera sits here, and then I have to move it over to that desk to film.
Yes.
But I don't know if, like you say, with an overhead, you kind of, as we're getting older, and you're like, you've got to be literally sat on it to see what you're doing. Yeah, it makes it hard.
The other one as well, because now I'm a new glasses wearer, you see, when I'm working, what I'm finding out as well, when I airbrush, you fog up. Do I need anti-static or something on me glasses?
Well,
Because I'm like this, and I'm now finding things are getting a bit foggy in here, and I go like that, and you can literally write your name in them.
Yeah, no, it is. That is one of the downsides of them. You do get overspray on your glasses, and they do fog up. You have to get a bit of alcohol and clean them off, and super coatings and all sorts.
But yeah, it's just like the static, I think, onto it, like the dust. It's like you could literally write, you put a cross through it, but it's quite thick, and I was like, my God. And like, so that's another example as well, where you can see now I do wear a respirator for the bigger stuff. So I have my respirator on. You've got 2 X-rays. So how the hell does it get any on there? But it does. So it just shows it is going around still.
Oh God, yeah, it does go everywhere. I think Matt asked me a question about what would I do if I had a warped chassis.
Yes.
On the Mustang. Well, to be honest with you, this Mustang chassis is very thick. If that was warped, there'd be a bit of a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I think if it was warped straight in, it would be a massive problem.
Yeah.
Because it is so thick.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's a bit of a dilemma, this warping business. We was on about it the other week, weren't we?
Mm.
And how to correct it.
Yes.
I mean, people said about heating it up and hot water and all sorts, but I'll be honest with you, I actually wouldn't have a clue. I'd struggle. I would hope that once you put it all together and clip it into the body, it would kind of just even itself out.
Again, like we said, because we've had this conversation, is that warpage, especially like aircraft wings and fuselages, people, they get hold of like one piece of wing and they look at it and they're like, oh, have you seen the warp on it? But normally when you get both halves together, they tend to straighten out. So, and if you look back at older kits especially, you get massive amounts of warpage on them. But you get the fuselage halves together, it tends to pull itself straight and all the rest of it. So I think sometimes if you look at especially on a chassis of a car, if you're looking at the shell and it's warped, by the time you've got it bolted onto the chassis, it should probably pull itself straight and all the rest of it. But it's such a fine line, because what you need to do is heat up the plastic. That's the only way you're going to make any difference. But you've got that moment where you're going to go too far and it's just going to melt and it'll never come back.
No.
It's not like resin where, and I've done it with resin before, where I've put it in hot water, you pick it up and it's like floppy fuselage half, and you put it on your cutting mat flat, and then you just let it cool naturally, and then it's fine and you're good to go. And I think I showed it on, I had a replacement canopy, but it was just the framing work as well, and that's for the Raptor. And when you put it on the top of the kit, it was literally like completely out. So I put it in hot water, get it nice and soft, and then I just placed it on where it should be, and it sat perfectly, let it cool naturally, and that's it. It's fine. Resin's really easy to straighten out.
Yeah, resin's nice.
Plastic is, it's one of those where it's really, really horrible to try and get it right.
Yeah. I mean, he's asking me about it. Do you mean for this one, what colour am I going to paint it? Is that what you're asking? Because I've just seen the question. I'll be honest, I've not decided. Obviously, it's red in the film. Now, I could actually go and get a touch-up pot of the original colour.
Mm-hmm.
Or shall I just go to the Tamiya LP range and pull a red off and paint it that? Oh, look. Is that your next build?
Yes, well, somebody's just asked me that one. Is this one the next build? Yes, here it is. Dusty as well, look. But this is it. I must admit, I did get it out the weekend. I was going through the instructions and a few bits and pieces just to make sure. It's pretty much going to be straight out forward out the box after doing these. So we need a nice straightforward build. Obviously, it's got Lake and Heath markings, and the great thing with this kit is obviously it's got the modern weaponry. So it's got like the sniper pod and the small diameter stuff. So it's got like the GBU, what are they on here, 39s? Yes, the little baby ones. So yeah, that's the plan for this particular kit, is we're going to do it pretty much Lake and Heath, but we're going to play the home school and then go from that. But it should be really, really nice. Looking forward to doing that one.
Yeah, I'll just answer Matt because he's on. Because I think he's just saying he's getting into building cars now. So preparation, isn't it, basically, is the key. I don't know if you've seen the E-Type Jag build that I did, but go back and watch that. But it's all about prepping, priming, rubbing down, and just getting it right before you put the top coat on. To be honest with you, LPs work fantastic because they do a lot of car colours anyway in the LP range if you don't mind using lacquers. And obviously, I think, what's the other one? Zero Paints, is it? Do a lot of
car colours.
If you're into, if you really want precise car colours or codes, or like I've always said, just go down to your local motor factors and ask for a touch-up pot, probably a £5.
Which we've done many times now. Yeah.
Yeah, and you'll get the proper colour if you've got the colour you want and the code. Just go down and say, "Can I have a touch-up pot?" And somebody will do it for you. So But it's just all about prep. It's just all about prepping, getting it rubbed down, getting it smooth, keeping it clean, usual, your environment clean when you're airbrushing, just things like that, really. But yeah.
And again, just talking about that, because I've had a couple of questions about that in the past.
Yeah.
If you're using like motor factor type paints, you pop down your local paint, get a touch-up pot for it, the little ones, or even using touch-up stick ones and just decanting them out for small stuff. No problem at all. Just going to thin with lacquer thinners.
Yeah.
And you're going to go down and put them down like that, and you'll be absolutely fine and good to go. But as you say, it's just that thing about thinning, because automotive paint is a lot more hard wearing than perhaps your normal like Tamiya LP paints and things like that. So they are going to need thinning and thoroughly mixing, which is another really important fact which I overlooked for many years. But you need to really mix them thoroughly. And you'll be fine. But Matt got me the touch-ups because we did the RB6 Formula 1 car, so we used the genuine colour for that because we got the paint code for it, and then for the Ducati bike, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So we used genuine Ducati red touch-up for the body on it, which worked an absolute treat, and it came out fantastic. So
yeah, I mean, I think I've never used zero paints, but I do think they are sort of like proper car paints, I think.
Yes.
As in base coats, because there's obviously two types of car paint. There's obviously the base coat, which has got the clear on it, and then there's a solid colour one, which you can't really get in a touch-up because that probably needs an activator these days. It's not like the old school stuff. So if you stick with your base coat and clear in it, it's pretty straightforward to use, and it's not hard. But at least then you're in the genuine colour spectrum of whatever you're building. You've got that precise colour if that's what you want to do.
Yeah. And also, you got any colour you want.
Literally any colour.
So, whilst you might be limited from the hobby range, you're not there.
If you can get a code, then
Right. Nigel's got eagles buzzing his place right now. Very nice. So you say, well, the F-15's E's are staying put, but now they're phasing out, aren't they? The C's being replaced by the F-35s are in there now. So that one's going.
He's just saying that he's used the Gravity 2K clear coat on the car body. On top of zero paint. Like I said, as long as your paint underneath is dry, you could acrylic, enamels, whatever. It don't matter as long as it's dry underneath. You can put your clear coat on top, and it'll just seal it all in.
Where are we as well? Brett is currently building this kit now. What are you doing this one, Brett? Is it any good?
Does he need to look back in his stash?
Do I need to rethink it? It's the bit with that I wouldn't touch it. It's you're like, oh god. So yes, but as I say, I've been wanting to do this one for absolutely ages. So it's nice to see we finally got there with that one. But once we get these two out of the way, I'm going to get going with that one and get a nice bit ahead. Then we're going to drop in the next one after that, which is a bit of a mystery at the moment. Got various options for that one.
It says it's a great kit, so you should be fine.
That's all right.
As the instructions, Brett, are they actually straightforward, or are there corrections in that one?
I think it has, yeah. Because to be honest, that's why I had it out. I was going through the instructions, so they are here, not at the bottom. So, tell you what, the box is snug.
Yes, they are good.
They are very snug. I was right with it getting it in and out. But yeah, you've got. I must admit, as I say, it's the first time we've done a Great Wall Hobbies one like this. So you've got the parts trees in here with obviously the different versions, just like that. So you get that one. Then obviously we've got the no staple. So it comes apart. You can do it in any order you like. So.
Actually, Brett says the instructions are good and easy to follow. So. That's the plus, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. But no, some nice touches in this one, which I didn't realise, because as I say, I reviewed it, but that was a very long time ago. And but obviously you've got you can have the nose panels open for the avionics base. They're all in there as well, so that's quite nice. So it's got loads of detail in this one. But mainly, with the big part of doing this particular kit, one is that we haven't done an Eagle for ages. And obviously we're sort of upgrading the old video builds, but also it's quite an interesting colour to work with. So gunship grey is pretty boring,
Whose paint are you using?
Well, this is it. I've got it because I've got a few, as you know, but I've got the Gunship Grey from AK.
Yeah.
And I've obviously got it in Hataka. And I don't know if they do it in LP.
I don't think they do.
Did they?
No, they don't.
No, don't think they did it in LP.
They don't do an LP, not what I know of. I presume the other one would be Guns, would it?
Yeah.
If you do one.
Yeah, Guns do it. So, and I've got Guns as well because that'll be down there, or MRP. But I don't know. As I say, I know I'm a fanboy of AK. I can honestly say these are all done in AK real colours. It's just the best of both worlds, isn't it? I've just mixed it with rapid dry and thinners, lacquer, and it just goes down so smooth, and dries pretty instantly. Classic example, I forgot to do the pylons for the racks on the wingtips. So I held one end, sprayed it, and then I did the other one, held the end, sprayed it, and then I came back and then held the other end and sprayed it. Because it was good enough you could hold it. So that's within, 4 minutes? 3 or 4 minutes, and you can actually hold it. As long as you're not proper gripping it, just hold it gently and you'll be absolutely fine with it.
Davey's got to go for another team meeting. Look here. Enjoy your meeting.
Yes, enjoy your meeting.
I feel sorry for you, but yeah.
Yeah, you have to assemble the instructions before you do it. Because I must admit, I sat there on the back of the chair and it all fell out. And I was like, oh, okay, fair enough. But no, it does look really nice. I did like to say it's got beautiful engines on this. It's got fully detailed engines. So should be an interesting build. As I say, it's a little bit smaller. I have noticed camera angles because this is big. So yeah.
Are you struggling with your go big, go home theory?
Well, it's that thing about one fitting it in the spray booth. So, but from that, we're just down to, we've gone 24th scale with a Hurricane. Now we're 32nd. Now we're to 48th. By the end of the year, we'll be doing 1/500ths.
Yeah, I can say you'll be on them 1/100th and stuff from Tamiya.
Stuff.
I'm surprised you didn't think of that, when you're saying about go big, go home. I know you were saying, obviously, you can show more detail.
Yeah.
But then the downside is you struggle to get it in camera shot.
Yes. You do sometimes.
I think 48th is probably the right scale.
48th is the sweet spot. It's nice to do the big stuff like with the Hurricane though, because you've just got that sort of bigger thing to show with the weathering and stuff like that would be okay. And on this one, well, as you say, I don't know, it goes with my Tomcat.
Yeah.
So I've got a 30-second Tomcat, we've got a 30-second, Superbug, so we'll be all right. We've got a bit of everything there for the collection. I don't know, I'm going to hang it on the wall, I tell you. I thought about putting a pole in the bottom, something in here, so it'll hang from that.
Can't you hang you off the arrestor hook?
Well, that may be a bit fiddly.
I thought you'd pin it.
There's not a lot of plastic holding that on.
Right, fair enough.
So I have got it as a moving part though, so we're okay. You could do if you were very risking it.
No, that's just going to be crashing the night and then, that's not a good idea. Don't risk it.
Because my room's above this, I'd hear it. It'd be like, I'm not going in tomorrow.
Like when your shelf collapsed. Oh,
yes,
God,
that was when the shelf collapsed. I did check it the other day.
No, have you checked them again?
I did it the other day. I did go in and check them. They're all fine. They haven't moved, so we're all right. Fix that.
I think poorly actually. I think they're fine because they're in them little thin cabinets. I don't think the glass can actually go anywhere.
Well, my trouble is because I've got two normal cabinets side by side, and I took out the glass in the middle on both. So then the glass walked its way towards each other. Then it had room to drop off the shelf. So, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, Tim says yes, 48 scale for modern jets. Absolutely. Very, very good job. Michael says he's doing the 30-second F-14B, keeps winking at you. Do it. I've done it. It's up there.
What was yours, an A?
I did the D.
Did you do a D? Did you?
I did the D, yeah. So... But,
it's a nice kit, that, isn't it?
It is. It's lovely. Having built the Tamiya one, lots of people are like, oh, it's not as detailed as the Tamiya. Tamiya's raised, don't forget. The back end of that's raised. The front end's recessed. And it's like, But no, it's a really nice, straightforward, goes together. You're going to need a bit of filler. Again, it's the same age as when they did the Hornets and stuff like that as well. So it's older trumpeter, but it's good, solid trumpeter. It goes together, just a little bit of filler here or there and everywhere, but you end up with something very, very impressive.
There's a lot coming up. Dominic's doing the SU-24 instead of second, which is still a foot long. It's just a big aircraft in general, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then Richard's doing a limited edition Spitfire in 109. Nice kits.
Very nice. So we can talk about that. We what's it called? The Armour Hobbies. Is it the Tony or whatever it was?
High OT in it. It's a bit high OT. Yeah, good artwork. we know our Japanese planes.
Yeah.
It's a Frank.
Frank. There we go.
It's Frank, isn't it?
It's a Frank. So.
And we all thought it would be a zero. Let's be honest, because that would have been the safe bet. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there you go. A Hayate, is it? Is that how you pronounce it? Hayate. Anyway, and it's nice to see something different. And obviously, I don't know what they can get out of it mould-wise, because we know from obviously the past Wildcat and.
There you go. Thank you for that. Look, our adoring audience are really good at this. They're on the ball more than we are.
Oh, well done. Yeah. Brilliant.
So yes, there it is. I'd say it should be really. I call it the Japanese Thunderbolt because it looks like a P-47, doesn't it?
It does a bit actually. Now you've said that. Yeah. Yeah, you do. Yeah, I've never noticed that, but yes, Japanese for Gale apparently. Right.
But I must admit, it'd be interesting to see this one because again, I think it's a little bit more rivety than their other ones. So if they do their fine detail right the way over this, like they've been doing the others, it'll be absolutely stunning. So good on them. I must admit, I think it's a nice choice.
I think it's brave. Because we know from sort of sales and what we've stocked, Japanese sort of planes aren't massively big sellers over here. I don't know if they're actually aiming for a different market.
Perhaps
with
they're
it.
Trying to break in over.
Oh yeah, they could. Yeah,
they
could be with that. But obviously, it's not big stuff over in the European market. I don't think, is it?
No.
I wonder if that's because of obviously we've been sort of brainwashed with war in Europe rather than the Pacific, for our age groups and stuff, and. Just, I don't know, just general, obviously knowing about the aircraft in general. Everybody knew 109 and a 119. I presume the zero if you'd watched the old films, but there wasn't much of anything else, was there? It was perhaps the dive bombers, but yeah.
Well, as you say, good luck to them on that one. It should be really nice. I must admit, I'm looking forward to seeing it because their riveting, as you say, is like, off the chart. And there's a lot of rivets on Japanese aircraft, so it'll be interesting to see how they're going to go about that one.
Yeah, it will be nice.
Yeah, we have to do a shout out also for Shell and his wife at the weekend for hanging up the TV on the wall, putting up a wall-mounted 55-inch TV on her own.
Yeah, and she's still got all her fingers. And
they're a bit flatter apparently, but
yeah. But hey, tell you, she's dab hand now at DIY.
That's it, absolutely.
They'll be having an extension and loft conversion, everything.
You could build the stair lift.
Stair lift, yeah.
A couple of old scaffolding poles, it'd be fine.
Rigging something up, be like scrappy challenge.
Yeah, that's it. What could go wrong? Yes, Neil's doing the 48 scale SR71 at the moment. That's it. So how's that kit? What's it go together like?
It's big.
It is a large lump, absolutely.
It's big. Yeah, where are you going to put that when you've completed it?
That'll be a hang it on the wall.
God, need its own hanger. Never mind hang it on the wall. It's huge, isn't it?
So does the TV still work? Yeah, but it's got a big crack in the middle.
Yeah, you ought to see the wall behind it.
Yeah, it's like a Swiss cheese trying to find.
That was it. I remember Andy said, when they were looking and they couldn't find any studs in the wall. They got even a thing and couldn't find anything. So they had to use proper heavy duty roll plug so it don't.
Jesus, into plasterboard. Like that's a nightmare having a TV in plasterboard, isn't it?
I know.
So
yeah.
I must admit, there's a story to that. When I moved into this house, there was a poster on the wall. Bearing in mind, this house was a repossession. It had been empty for a couple of years when we bought it.
Yeah.
And one of the kids' bedrooms, there's a poster on the wall. Bearing in mind, there's nothing in any other room whatsoever. It had been stripped out, obviously, because it was repossession. And, took off this poster and there's a massive hole. Literally, and you don't know what it is. They had a TV on the wall and it had ripped off and taken everything with it. And they thought, oh, well, we just put a poster over it, kids' poster. Yeah. But that's what that was hiding, a big hole about a foot across.
You knew that was behind there, though,
yeah.
If everything else is empty and there's something on the wall, there's a problem.
Something hiding there.
Yeah. Anyway, Roger's just said we look sharp and clear, so obviously can you rearrange that, Phil, please, so we're not so... You're good?
I was going to say, look at you today. Look, pin sharp. Pin sharp. It's the riffraff that we have in on other shows.
It is. The riffraff brings us down to 480. Yeah, they've escaped. Yeah, they tunnelled out.
Probably. That's what it was like.
Definitely. How big old was it?
Oh, it was almost a foot across.
Really?
Yeah, they were taken, obviously, you know what it was. It was a TV wall map bracket on there. It had obviously been pulled off or it had fallen off and they just stuff it.
Yeah.
So.
To be honest, I took 2 old phone points off in the living room yesterday because they were annoying me from where they were placed. And the dead phone points. I'm like, well, we're painting obviously the living room at the minute and decorating and stuff. I'm like, well, I'm not keeping them on there just to paint round them. Do you know what I mean? They're not needed. So unscrewed them, took them off, and we have got like a hole going to the outside. Obviously, where they've run the cable. I think it was for Virgin Media. So I've got to fill that tonight. I've got to block that up and fill it. But yeah, it's just I don't know why they don't take things off and because there's one underneath the other, and one had gone. When they go like beige, they're that old.
Yeah.
That was one of them that was dead. So why don't you just take it off and just put Anyway, it's off. It's off and it'll be filled later.
Yeah, fill that in. Yeah, look.
Yeah, get the insulation in there and some filler.
Bit of super glue and talc.
Bit of super glue and talc, that'll be it. Yeah, perfect plastic putty. So yeah, it's all good doing your DIY, isn't it?
Yes. Well, I spent the weekend cutting trees down, so it's a lot lighter in the back garden. You'll notice. Now we're overlooked by everyone again. Got carried away with my new saw.
It's that time of year when you gotta get your gardening.
This is it.
Gardening weather, gardening gear on, ain't you? So I cut our lawns, and that was fun. We should have the gardening thread. We should start a gardening thread.
Yes. Yeah, we have the gardening hour as well as the thingy. We'll reconvene in the summer. We'll go outside on the deck. Do the shows from there. That's what we need to do.
Yeah. Do you know what? Actually, Tim's had a point there because I did have an idea of doing the Scammell Pioneer with the Border Models 109. Right. So it was with wings, to be honest, but it was obviously going to be crashed, shall we say? And I was gonna have it pulling it out of a field or something, like it's belly landed and they're just pulling it out. But then I actually had the thought of the decals. I don't know what the decals were inside the box. You can't go aftermarket for it. So I'm kind of stuck with what's in the box, and I've got a feeling they're Eastern Front ones. I don't think they're Western Front decals.
Oh, right.
I need to have a look. I don't know. But then I did see that completely put me off is Facebook. A load of other people has actually done the same kind of idea, crashed one. It's not quite being pulled out with Scammels and stuff. But it was just like, well, that's going to be done to death then, isn't it? Because it just works. And I think, don't want to go down that road. It's just kind of been done.
You have to put your own slant, because I've got caught like that many times, especially because people know what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
You get people gazump you and go off and do it first, so you have to sort of put your own slight spin on it a bit.
Well, remember Kev's diorama there? He's having that truck with the Scammell where he's getting pulled out from that train track. He's going over the train track and it's like run down. It's kind of that sort of idea, but I was going to do it with the 109. And then there's a pilot figure you can get, or a down pilot figure, and I was going to have him like sat in the back of something like he's been captured. I don't know. The idea with it, but the other idea was actually have it with a German half track of pulling it out.
Yeah.
But then would they really be bothered by that time in
Probably
life?
not.
Do you know what I mean? I know it's only a made up thing, but I don't know. Don't know. It's kind of there, but it's not working in my head. Does that make sense?
Yes, you have to put your own little spin on these things. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Garden as well with Phil Flory. To be honest, it's my other half does the gardening. I just get told what to do. Mow that, cut that down. Don't touch that. Right, got it. That's basically my gardening skills.
Oh yeah, me too. I just kill everything.
There you go. Look, this is the Ukrainian one.
That who was talking? I think I talked to Gary at Tiger Hobbies. And the tractor.
Yeah.
I said I was surprised somebody's not rushed one of them out.
Yeah.
Because you're going to see so many of them sort of dioramas.
Yeah.
12, 18 months or however long, with something being towed by a tractor. It's because obviously the Azagar ones, but I don't think they're kind of big in the Ukraine, are they? Shall we say?
No.
So I don't know, but yeah, interesting. So what scheme are you doing your F15 in then? Have you picked?
Yeah, I'm going to do it as in the Lake and Heath one. We're going to do it as, which is, to be honest, the one that comes, because originally I was going to get aftermarket decals for it, and I have got some. I've got some for the Alaskan ones and stuff like that as well, which I've got here, but I actually quite fancy doing the Lake and Heath one. So yeah, that's the plan for this one, which I was off. So yes, we'll be doing that one.
Bit grey, isn't it?
So it's grey, but then all Eagles are grey, unless you're going to do one of the Israeli versions or something else like that. So, but that's a different beast anyway.
Because that's a different aeroplane altogether, isn't it?
But yeah, no. But again, it's the challenge of working with a single colour. You know, when it's just grey and it's dark.
Where's your Regal? Have you still got that Academy one?
No, it's moved now. It's now been retired to the secondary collection in the loft.
Oh, is it upstairs?
It's gone up to the loft.
Or have you retired it to landfill?
No, it's not gone to landfill or recycling. No, it hasn't. It's literally, I'm just checking actually, no it has. It's upstairs. When I had a bit of a clear out the other week. Sorry, my dog is barking at something. Lola's spotted someone, probably the postman. Yeah, no, I decided that we'd have a bit of a clear out of my old stuff. So the Harrier's gone now, 32nd Harrier. I moved the MiG-29 and the F-15, so the entire bottom shelf has now made way for newer stuff. So I've got the Spitfire in there now and the Mustang that we did the end of last year.
Right.
So they're all safe now and tucked away. So yes, good job on there.
Good.
Next one to make it to the reserve collection will be that aircraft carrier, because that takes up almost an entire shelf on its own.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, something on about. I'm not putting any polls and lists or whatever else up. I will make my own decisions. Thank you very much. There is no chance I'm having your lot pick what I'm building next.
Yes.
No way. Yeah, Phil, got your message. I'm sure there'll be a spare one for you. Best thing to do, Phil, is actually to message Andy. I know he's off this week, but message him anyway because I'll forget. I'm sure there was somebody who wanted one. Who is it?
Yeah.
What's G-Fix for
plaster? Just looking at that, G-Fix for plaster walls.
Then?
Is that some type of miracle? Is it like more nails?
I was about to say, same as it, no more nails.
Jesus.
I actually got to say, in here when I did the skirting.
Yes.
Now, bearing in mind, I am no DIYer by any stretch or any sort of thing like that. No more nails, stick the skirting on. That's never coming off ever again.
I was going to say, some poor soul will have to take that off one day. It'd be a nightmare.
The problem was, when I did it, I don't think the plasterboard were on. So the skirting is now pretty flush with the plasterboard.
Oh, right, okay.
Because I think they said, well, do you want the skirting taken off? We can plaster down. Like, no more nailed on. You won't get that off in one piece. Oops. Yeah. It does work, but it's lethal, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, it's a one-way trick with that. It's not as good as the idiot who put my bathroom. You've got like the shower tray, and underneath it, you step right up into it. It's not like on the floor in a bin. There's a piece of plastic at the bottom, just a bit of fill. So you would think that'd be a screw with a cap over it, And obviously we had a leak underneath the shower, so I went in there a couple of months back trying to have a look. So I take the cap off, fully expecting with me cordless in my hand to like zzz, zzz. Oh no, it's nails. But it's not the normal nails. These are those really industrial ones with teeth. So when you hammer it into wood, it never comes back out. So it's like somebody was having a joke when they put that system in, because they thought, I'll put this in because they'll never be able to get it off. So consequently, I had to then get a pry bar in, tap it in, and try and get it out. But that's crushing the plastic, made a complete mess of it, and I had to put a new front on it, which is now screwed in with a plastic cap that closes over it. But you ever did that?
I know, just a bit off topic, but in our main bathroom, when they were doing the work, and there were a load of paint and stuff under the bath.
Just left it in there.
Obviously it's covering its whole thing, but there's like paint and all sorts behind it under the bath.
I must admit, one of my old houses, classic for that, we had to get the floor up because we had a leaking radiator. And when we took it up, underneath it, same thing. Literally the entire contents of the house, when they were decorating it and all the rest of it, they just chucked under the floor. And there was old paint tins, old brushes, sweepings. Clearly you could see it was like piles of, they just swept it in a hole and then put the floor on it and went over it. But it's like, how long's that been down there? It's been like 30 years it had been down there. But it's like, really? Clearly I didn't get it all out. I just put the thing back over it again and left it for prosperity. It's like a time capsule for someone.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, when you rip it all up and find it. So, oh God, what they're on about? Oh, we're on Screwfix.
It's G-Fix. I've got it here now. So apparently it is plasterboard cavity wall fixing. It's an Anchor heavy duty pack for 8 fixings. It's only £15 on Amazon. There it is. Look.
So was the thing. Oh, because I bought these like. Oh right, yes. Oh right, okay. Mm-hmm. I bought these proper heavy duty rug. Plus, I've got to hang a mirror up.
Right.
A proper heavy wooden mirror that I've got, and that's going up. But it's going to need something so it don't fall off. So these proper heavy duty sort of plug things with the screws. The ones where they're screwing so far. Yeah. It's them.
Why have we come up with that? What are we talking about? So you end up with this.
What?
I don't know. I just clicked on the links.
I have no idea. A folding roller walking what? That's for James. James must have one.
Oh right, there you go. It's for James.
Can I recommend for this for the mature member of the team? Oh right, it's saying John.
Is it John or Andy?
His birthday.
If they did, they want an electric one.
I bet you needed one. Them after doing them tree chopping down, didn't you?
Oh dear, I tell you, my arms are killing me.
Bit of manual labour.
Like Popeye.
Yeah.
Or apparently you can get these. What you need. So look, they flick out each side once it's in. Look. Pew, pew.
All right, yeah, I'm with you.
See? Smarts. Wow. Look, drill it, whack it. That's where the bit where if I do that, I put that clean through it.
Yeah, or miss it completely.
Yeah.
Well, that's quite a good idea, isn't it?
Yes.
It's got a little wing system to lock it into place.
Yeah.
Depends how good your plasterboard is, though.
Yeah, that's it.
You can make a bigger hole than you've drilled.
Yeah, 25mm hole.
Yeah. When it falls off. Hey, oh, that's gone small.
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
On
the wrong
chat.
thing. Hold on. We're in chat now. I want that one. There we go.
Okay.
There we go. So, that's what Andy's used. So he's all right. He's fine. He's used those things. So,
right. Christopher's put, look, aren't very good. Big hole, very little gripping surface. It's all right. Phil's brother owns it.
No, not that lot.
No, it's not, is he? He's the other one, isn't he? Tool station. All right, we're not doing that again. Then we're not advertising Screwfix. Tool station only, please.
Yes.
No, Screwfix. No. No, wrong company. Why don't they owe them yet?
I don't know. They'll work their way around there, no doubt.
I said they need to get Screwfix. So, I tell you what. Actually, I had a delivery yesterday. I need to thank somebody. I have my little letter. Look, this is like Proper.
Right. Yeah.
So Dave Jones, I've got to thank him. He sent some stuff to us, well, basically to me and Nathan. But you know, I have my old fetish for old catalogues.
Oh, right.
He's sent some. So Verlinden, basically.
Oh, right. Nice.
So it gets better. It does get better. So there's that. Obviously, the little one of them. The volumes where you get all the little dioramas and stuff. Then there's like a special on him.
Very nice.
Which is really quite cool. You get all the old. Because Spencer's done a bit of a legacy thing where he's kind of recreated them.
Right.
There's another one. I think that's a proper old catalogue or something. But this, hey, look at that.
Oh, look, 1978, 79.
How thick it is.
Yeah.
I was looking through it. It's like this. Wow, yeah. There's hardly anything in it. But it's. But this was for me. It's just all photographs.
Oh, right. Is that Tamiya?
Like,
on the front. I thought it said Tamiya.
it is.
It is. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh. Crikey. How old's that then?
Old. Don't know. I don't even know if it's got a date in it. It's in the back. If it's got a date, I don't know. Can't find a date. It's got all the photos, and then you get an explanation of the photos in the back. Look.
Yeah.
So it's just. But it's really quite a good reference to if you want to do your 88, Flak 88 and half tracks and stuff in a couple wagon on
there you go.
sticks. Some good ideas actually for. You know, you can see where they got the ideas from for. Do you remember some of the in the old catalogues?
Yes.
And obviously the ideas of their kits and stuff that they've produced, because it's all obviously their gear, if that makes sense. Yeah. So I want to thank him for that. Thank you very much for sending that. It was a surprise yesterday because his box turned up. I'm like, can't remember ordering anything.
Yeah, what you bought now?
You know, or what's come back, usual thing.
Yes.
And opened it up, and yeah, it was a nice surprise with a nice little letter. So thank you very much, Dave.
Well done, Dave. Good job.
Yeah, we're always happy to accept stuff.
Yeah. We like freebies, definitely.
It's quite useful.
That's like Pete said, when Jeremy Clarkson would be reading out a letter.
Yeah, well, you know, I don't get into the ins and outs of it. Just, you know, it's just like that's about it. Yeah. So, just passing these books on. That's really what it says, and perhaps I would have found them useful.
I need a bookshelf in here. That's I've got a thing about moving my VC10 and actually having a photographing area down there, but the VC10's in it at the moment, and it's lived there since I built it. So I need to find a new home for the VC10 somewhere, and I'll do it. And also, then I can have my books down there as well.
So what, you Peter and Jane and stuff?
Yeah.
You know, Ladybird Book of...
Ladybird
Book of Gardening.
But I've got them over there, and every time that we have a show and somebody says, oh, recommend a book, I go dashing over there, and they're in a pile. So I have to shift them to go through them all. It'd be so nice to have them properly all done and out there. So...
That's why I was thinking to do it here actually, because mine are still upstairs from obviously out my shed, and the ones that I've got here. So obviously this one at home needs a bookshelf putting in, or bookcase. I'd probably get a Billy bookcase from IKEA because they'll do. Stick it in a corner and put my books on, and then I think we need one in here as well. But I might put some shelving up and have some book ends.
You'll need some plugs for that.
I know. I'll need John as well to help me do it.
Send John up. He's good with the old DIY. He'd be all right. Did Matt and Andy ever complete their 72nd aircraft being refilled for Phil's VC10?
Hold on a minute. I would know what to do with that. I'd retired from the aircraft. It was John did his
GR3, which is here.
You've got that.
I've got that, and he's with it.
Nathan did his Jag. That's complete.
Yeah.
Don't know what Andy were doing. I forgot what Andy were doing. I bet Andy's forgot what we were doing.
Yeah.
The lightning. Andy were doing the lightning, and no, he didn't complete it. I didn't get involved with that.
No, they dodged that one out.
Because it was going to be for Telford 2 years
for a diorama,
ago, and it never obviously materialised. So.
Andy says this is nearly finished.
Is it, Andy?
Is
really?
It, that old chestnut?
Yeah.
Have a nice one, Rick. Rick's off.
Enjoy work, Rick.
He's got to work, bless him.
Well, somebody has to, don't they?
Stephen says, which reference book will we be using? I will be using this particular one. Hold on, I need to sort this out. So if I put this over here, it won't disappear as much. So yes, I'll be using this one, the Modern Eagle Guide.
You see, why can't you do in that camo?
Because that's a single seat. But this is the best one. Look at that one. Get the Japanese digi ones.
So right, hold on. Let's go back a bit. So you've got all these nice colourful eagles that other people, and you're doing a grey one.
Grey. Yeah, but the thing is, it's a mud hen, as we call it. All the mud hens are that colour at the top.
Yeah, but you can do it as more exciting schemes. Because that's not even a nice colour, is it?
No.
It's awful. It's battleship grey.
All right.
I'm just saying.
But yeah, now this is the Modern Eagle Guide number 2. So yeah, so it is very, very nice. What you have to do, you have to be a bit sort of careful where you buy them from, because some places will charge you a fortune for them because they sort of go out of print. Jake does them with read their publications down the bottom there, and then literally they go for like £100 on eBay and all the rest of it. So you just have to keep an eye out where you can get them. But this one I've had for ages. I did have the first edition, but it got lost somewhere. But yeah, so really, really nice. You've got everything you need, and obviously you've got all the tails. So that's quite nice, and all the bits. But it's really nice to have the references. I've been using the Super Hornet one for working on the Super Hornet and that. But yeah, very, very nice. Very,
Are you detailing it at all, or just building it out of the box?
It's probably out of the box, but I like to use this stuff and say for any extra details we want to pop into it.
Right.
We will. I was going to get a what do you call it, Quinta set for it, but I've noticed they're out of stock everywhere, and don't think there's any more coming soon.
Don't think you do any Eddard.
Yeah, I'll have to have a look. But yeah, that's the one. Where's the IBAN number? There we go. Pause now, and you can read the IBAN thingy. But yeah,
Scan it.
look, the recommended's on. It's only £40. Even I paid more than that. But they do the other ones.
Where did you get that from?
I can't remember. I had this one a long time. I think I might have bought it when it first came out because I lost one. As I say, a member had it, and then he's no longer a member, and I never got my book back.
Oh,
so,
right, okay. One of them.
One of those situations.
Don't them people books, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
The chance of getting them back are really slim.
Slim at that point, yeah. But no, that's the same people who do this one, which is the Hornet one. Very good books, excellent books. They do one on the F-16 and bits and pieces. What's the other one? Fox 2, is it? They do some really good stuff as well. Got some of theirs.
Yeah. So I think the thing with books is you do have to grab them pretty much as they come out, don't you? Because, like you say, they do go out of print, and then second hand they can fetch a premium.
Well, somebody was looking for the A10 one because they do an A10 one, and somebody sent me the link. It was £110 on Amazon. 110 quid. I think I only paid like $25 or something first time round when it got released. Yeah. So, yes.
Yeah, I think you do. If you've got a slight interest in the subject, then yeah, it's probably a wise idea to. Do Dayco still do books?
I think so. Yeah. Yes.
Because people I could get it all off the internet, but it's not quite the same, is it?
No. Do we want to have that discussion?
You want, sorry?
Getting stuff off the interweb from other places.
You know what I mean.
Paul says, hello Phil and Matt, help required. He's doing the new 72nd FRS-1 Harrier from Airfix. Humbrol 123 is required for the Dark Sea Grey. Doesn't look like Dark Sea Grey. 164 in enamel is Dark Sea Grey looking. Please could you advise on an acrylic Dark Sea Grey? Not too sure about Humbrol's range of enamels or their acrylics. Well, we're not massive fans of the Humbrol range. Even Nath was playing with it again on Thursday, trying to get enamels to dry and all the rest of it because of their slow drying time. As for Dark Sea Grey,
Attacker do one.
Attacker,
Attacker,
Vallejo.
Vallejo. The guns do one.
Real colours.
Yeah, real colours.
Hold on, I need me gigs. I can give you the things for them here. Dark sea grey. One second. If I find my little thing here, I can give you the Tamiya numbers.
I say there's loads of options for it. I don't think Tamiya do one, do they? Well, Dominic's saying XF54. Isn't that just sea grey? Don't know.
Dark green, nice green. That's my. Yeah, you have to make a somewhat of a mix with Tamiya.
Yeah, it's not straightforward.
No.
Vallejo apparently is 71.053.
Hold on. Dark sea grey. Dark sea green. Where the hell's dark grey?
Thing is, down the bottom, it's like 144, 143 in attacker in the lacquer range.
Yeah, dark sea grey, they're saying it's a bit of a mix between XF24 and 54. Technically, if you want to make it out of Humbrals, it's saying 5 parts of number 34, 4 parts of number 27, and 1 part 106. So yes. But as you say, if you go down the sort of the modern route, where are we? Dark sea grey and dark sea grey, ocean grey, medium sea grey.
MRP is
dark sea grey is 295 in real colours.
Yeah. 114 in MRP.
Yeah.
53 in Vallejo or 053.
Yeah.
There's loads of options out there. It's a common colour, isn't it? So.
Yeah, number 53 for Vallejo Model Air.
Yeah.
Yes. Again, it's one of those strange ones that Tamiya never did it, because they did ocean grey. Yeah, they did the ocean grey with the greens, wasn't it? Wasn't the medium?
No.
So,
Mark's
yes.
put the question up.
Yes.
Do we sell any bottles I could decant two-pack lacquer into, hardener and thinners that can be sealed?
Yeah, my bottles. You can.
These big 1 litre containers are a pain to work with.
Yes, you can put them into our bottle range that we flog. I've got a few of them. I've just ordered another 15,000 this morning.
Are you on about the dropper bottles?
Yeah.
Where are they? I could have some knocking around somewhere. Flower using, I think they're over there. The problem we've got to be careful of is with the hardener, it goes off once it. Over time, it will go solid.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, you can buy empty jars. Why don't you just buy some empty jars, like Tamiya jars or whatever? They all do like these, look.
Hold on, let me come back.
Tamiya do empty jars. We actually don't sell them. Perhaps we should. We should stop these, I think. But they do bigger ones as well. They do the 20 mil, I think. AK do them, or your friend Amazon probably.
Yeah.
You can get stuff, but obviously you can reseal it. Is it ideal for just generally if you've got a paint mix?
But our 50ml bottles we do, it's made of HDPE, which is impervious to everything, which I can prove it. So I've got alien blood over here, commonly known as Mr. Tool Cleaner.
Yeah, Mr. Tool Cleaner.
And if that doesn't melt it, nothing will.
No, I mean the lacquer and hardener will be fine. It just it's obviously if it goes off and goes hard. Anyway, better not talk about Jamie's on. You know how he gets up to you about 2-pack lacquer.
Oh yeah, don't mention that. But no,
Move
obviously
on.
I decant my big ones, even though I've got a Mr. Sprout on here. I put them into the dropper bottles because I find them easier to do dropper bottles than it is.
Oh, hold on, I've actually got the bigger ones here. So these are the bigger Tamiya ones.
What, the 23ml ones?
They look. Look at them. Look at them bad boys. I've just given myself a bloody paper cut. Ow! Ow, I bloody have as well.
Do you know what? I did that on Saturday with my brand new saw. It's got
Bigger.
Oh, that's bigger. How's that? 50ml?
God, I'm proper bleeding. That's good, aren't they? Do you want some?
Yeah, how big are they? What size is that? 70 mil?
I don't know. I'm seriously just cut myself. I don't know. It just says jar 46 on it.
Oh, right. Perhaps it's 46 mil then.
Probably. That's why they called jar 46. Oh, you swine. That probably. Yeah, they're quite decent size, aren't they?
Yeah.
Got my DNA on it now as well.
I must admit, my new saw that I was using at the weekend, it had a cardboard protector on the bloody blade, so you don't cut yourself, and I got a paper cut off for that.
So cut yourself with a cardboard blade. Yeah, got bloody claret all over me now. I've actually accident book. Where's the blame? There's a claim and all that. Specimen jars.
Yes, there we go. So you want some of them? Do we flog them? Can we get them in?
I've got to speak to the rep. So yes, we can sell them, and the little ones if anybody's interested. I've never even thought about it, to be honest. Yes, you can't have them ones because I need them, but yeah. Workplace injury, yeah. We're passing out through loss of blood in a minute. I'll tell you what, though, it's going to be sore. You can tell we're paper cut. They're always blooming sore, aren't they? Do you know what? Mr. Tool Cleaner, I'm thinking of trying it.
For what?
Brushing my teeth with. What do you think I'm going to use it
for?
for?
I know people who use it for gluing stuff, and people use it as a thinner.
No, for cleaning my hairbrush.
Oh, right. I think it's too strong.
Is it a bit much?
It's lethal. You know, things smell of pear drops. This is on another level of pear drops.
Yeah, exactly.
To be honest, if you've got an airbrush that's bunged up and like you forgot to clean it out, then it works absolutely great. But seriously, for day-to-day cleaning, I think it's really, really harsh. Do not. I tell you what, I've had people say to me, "Oh, you can use it as a thinner." Don't. It doesn't work. It'll destroy your paint. You know, and I know people use it as a glue as well, and it's like, oh Jesus.
I bet it works though, doesn't it?
Well, it probably does, but I think sometimes they might be too much, you know?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's a bit, I tell you what, it's a classic example is that you know that Hypersol, that Ajima stuff?
Yes.
It's brilliant, but it's so easy to put down too much, and it will literally melt your decal. And I mean, not just melt it to the surface so it looks nice, it means it eats it. It just dissolves your decals on spot. So you do have to be careful with some of this stuff. It's too over the top.
There you go. Acetone and mech.
Yes.
Homebrew extra thin. Quick, get some ordered. We'll knock a batch up.
Yes. Well, that's basically what it is, isn't it? That's what we said before. That's literally it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yeah. So.
I must admit, I use just lacquer thinners for everything now. You know, any type of painting, it just has lacquer thinners through it because I don't use the true acrylics anymore, so to speak. Obviously, I wouldn't stick it through like model colour or anything else like that, but that's it. So I do get through quite a lot of it.
I tell you what, no. When was it? The other day, I actually got moaned at for the smell. Because obviously I've been out in the shed, haven't I, for how long? So but I'm obviously in the converted garage bit now at the front, which is not near anything. But it's kind of not too far from the kitchen, if that makes sense. Anyway, I don't know what I was painting something, and it was that stinks.
Yes.
Usual, and it was like, oh, here we go. Not be long for banished back outside.
Yeah, should be getting the shed built in the summer house.
Leslie will move into my front, where I am for her office, and I'll be banished into another shed.
I must admit, I do the thing, but I call it like literally the airlock. If I'm spraying on here, obviously the lounge is next door. And obviously if you're doing like something big like I've been doing recently, it would stink it out. So that door just doesn't open. The extractors I run. And then I will leave the building with the room with both of them still going. And I'll zip out and I might go out and do some editing or whatever it is. And I'll just leave them running for a good half hour to totally evacuate. But then I get the other side because, like Matt knows, just out here is our decked area with the seating. If I'm airbrushing in here and there are people are sat outside, if the wind's blowing their way, obviously it only comes out of that wall behind me and then straight down. And everyone's like, Jesus, what are you painting in there? You know, it's like, oh yeah, it's a bit whippy. At least it's coming out, it's working.
Well, that's it. I know, yeah, exactly. It's I don't know, to be honest with you, I've kind of not fully switched back, but I have gone back to the acrylics a little bit. But I suppose when I'm doing my figures and stuff, I acrylic paint with them anyway. So, you know, if obviously I'm painting sort of this car body, it's going to be in lacquer paint. I'm not going to faff around. So, again, I try and mix and match with whatever projects I'm doing, really. Even with the armour stuff, a lot of it I can do with acrylics now. You know, obviously the oil paints and all the... It's a bit less lacquer based, shall we say. I think with aircraft you've got to use lacquer. I can't. I can't even see in my head why you would use enamels or acrylics. Unless you really, really obviously have to because of your environment. But as an option, just the lacquers is just so
I must admit, I did have somebody the other day say you don't paint anything with acrylics anymore, and it's like I tried to do it for years to make a balance. So obviously each video would have a different way, so everybody gets a bit of a feel. So it's that thing, like I might use acrylic one time, the next time I might use a lacquer. All right, I've never really used enamels because I'm not that mad, but that was always a thing that I would chop and change it around. So, and again, that's why sometimes, like at the moment, I'm using AK, other times I'll just use Hataka, I'll use, LPs from Tamiya or acrylics, and we'll do it that way. So it's that thing. But now I just couldn't go back to using acrylics, just purely because of just that thing of stop starting. I just don't have that issue at all anymore. I can't remember the last time which my needle blocked, or having to blast out your trigger, spray a bit, blast out your trigger. I must have wasted gallons of paint over the years into paper towel next to me, just trying to get the airbrush to work. I just can't imagine ever going back nowadays.
I mean, again, on this Panzer 1, obviously I painted it with the Gen 3s and airbrushed it, and I think the limitations is when you go into tight camo, if I'm honest. I think that's where, if you're doing single colours or you're modulating, or Jamie said it about using ammo stuff for his derelict, whatever it was, Hind was it, or whatever he used. I think that's fine. I think, like you were doing with your Hurricane, I don't ever think it lays down smooth either, because lacquers eat into themselves. You get a smoother, nicer finish, which again suits better for aircraft than it does armour. You really want a bit of texture with armour, to a point, obviously. Where I think with aircraft, you do want it smooth. So. No, it's only my thoughts and my ramblings, but they've all got the place apart from enamels.
Yeah, that's
well,
it.
Enamel paint, enamel washers and stuff different. Enamel. I mean, I bet not one person in our chat uses enamels. Oh God, here we go, Graham. Look, you'll be on a banned list if you carry on contradicting us. Why do you use enamels still? That's what I want to know. When there's better options out there.
But again, I know Jamie's now pushing ammo. I hate that stuff with a vengeance. I am literally completely on the other side there. I can't stand it. I've given it loads of goes, and it just is. I know Jamie will love it because it's very thin, but to me it's too thin. It takes too many coats to bring it up, and it just again. And I'm putting mine through a 0.2 and still it clogs my needle all the time. So I must admit, I gave up and they went. I gave those all away, all the ammo ones went. But everybody has their own personal preference and all the rest of it. That's exactly what you get on with. And to say, for environmental reasons, if it's the smell you're worried about, then obviously they'll be a lot better than if you're spraying lacquers, because there's no doubt about it. I remember the first time the LPs came in, and I got them and literally took the top off, and it was like, whoa, that's horrendous. You'll never be able to spray that. It'll be one of those things where you will need an extractor and everything because it's really strong. Now, it's the other half coming back. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's just so strong. You know, but
sorry,
now
mate.
I don't even know I'm spraying it. It's just fine. Just
You
get
know, on the
immune.
chat. Sorry, mate. You know, on the chat, they're on about enamels for railway work. Railway track. What? Why is that better than? And you know.
Sorry, they'll stop in a minute.
Yeah, you're all excited.
But yeah.
And again, I can see enamels for brush painting. I'm on about airbrushing, or we're on about airbrushing. We're not on about brush painting here. We're on about airbrushing.
Yeah.
And who's do airbrushes with them, and are they immune to the smell?
Yeah. I think you do go. Yeah, they call it nose blind, don't they? You just don't notice your own smell. And it is true, because if I'm spraying like lacquers now and all the rest of it, I don't notice it. But if I actually open up a jar of even Tamiya, to me it's got that old familiar smell. Tamiya, you know, they're hybrid acrylics. But yeah, it has got that sort of Tamiya smell to it. With the rest of them, they all smell the same to me.
Yeah.
You know?
They're on about colour matching. So is colour matching a bigger thing as it is in trains as it is with us?
Oh God, yeah.
Is it worse?
Probably. Yeah.
If it's not the right shade of blue or whatever it is, and you know, I don't know much about anything about trains, so I'm not going to go down that road. But
oh God, they're just as bad as our side, trust me. Yeah.
But they're still on enamels.
Yeah, a lot of the time. Not all the time. I know guys who do commission work for trains, you know, who do weathering of trains, because to be honest, I've been asked a lot of time for me to do it, but it's not my thing. That's the trouble. But for doing weathering and stuff, and most of the guys I know who do weathering of trains and commission work, they will use what we use, you know?
Sorry, I'm just laughing at fingers. I was giving some outclad enamels to try. I was too scared, so didn't bother. Oh, good choice, probably. No, I'm just, you know, like obviously from let's go back to Umbro enamels, we've now progressed because obviously acrylics came in and the lacquers and blah blah blah. It's not the railway guys had the same transition or evolved into acrylics and lacquers then over with their paints. Not being there, knowing anything about it, I'm just generally curious, to be honest.
Yeah, I think they do. I think it has moved over, because there is different paint manufacturers who do train colours, a lot in the US more than over here, I think. Neil's just saying about there, Phil, do you sell much to trains? Yeah, tons, literally. But you know what? That's what grime was invented for. Grime is technically like bogey wash, apparently. But because again, that was a match really for what you see on the bottom half of trains, you know, with that sort of grime that comes up. It was basically like, obviously you got the dark dirt, but the grime was more of a vehicle stroke train colour.
Any news on your new wash?
There's been a slight delay in manufacturing. That's what I'm going to say. No, it should be. Say I have got some, but I haven't got enough to supply everybody at the moment. But obviously, have you got yours there? Have you got your new ones there? They'll need a shake.
The samples.
They're the first production run. That was.
Do you mean them?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're there, but actually, do you know what? These are somebody else's. Mine are actually on the shelf over there.
Oh, right, okay.
So I forgot to give them to said person.
Oh, has he not had them? This bearing in mind you've been sat on them since before Christmas.
Yeah, and I have seen him since as well. It's Nathan's actually. These are everybody else.
No, Nathan's got his.
Has it?
Yeah.
Is this Andy? Are these yours, Andy?
That's Andy's.
Is he still awake?
Somebody give Andy a shake.
Are you still on? I think these are yours, mate.
I sent 2 lots up for you and Andy.
To be fair, though, Andy's not finished the modelling now long, so it doesn't really matter, does it? So which ones are you struggling with?
Well, it's just the greens at the moment. The greens, to be honest, what happened was, there's a story to this. The pigment racked up, and as soon as I saw it, it didn't didn't look right, and then obviously you stick your finger in it. The pigment should have a consistency like talcum powder. That's how it works, and it isn't. This was not been refined to our micron spec. We basically put an order in for the colour. So we give them what colour it is, and then we have to give them, and this is the secret squirrel bit, but it has to be done to a certain micron to adhere to the clay, because obviously if it's not the same, they separate completely. It just goes really gritty or just horrible. So it has to be the same, and obviously we put it in, as we do for all the colours, to that particular micron for it to be done, and then lo and behold this wasn't. So I sent it back and they agreed it was their fault, sorry, blah blah blah, they'll refine it. But they didn't want to just put it through the machine again to our specification. They wanted to do a new batch. So I said, fine. And now I'm waiting for a production slot. And I have been told it'll be the end of this month. So as soon as it's in, we're good to go.
Right. Talking of trade stuff, I've got railroad wash. God, that's a tongue twister. Somebody called Rail Match. Have you ever heard of them?
I would sure the other half has.
On for colours and stuff.
But again, the whole point of doing the green wash, we've been asked for doing a series of greens forever, and again it's more for the figure guys, diorama type things. It's not, obviously you don't want to put green over your model, but it's what you might do if you wanted to do a diorama a bit weathered, but the point is it's designed really for dioramas, the figure guys, train guys, stuff like that as well.
Yeah, just laughing at Paul's thing. You need a shed, Paul. That's what you need. Get yourself a shed and move outside. You can make as much smell and noise as you want and not disturb anybody. I'm thoroughly surprised I actually got away with part of the garage.
But the thing is, like we said before, you get people and they are into enamels and that's what they use. Also you get people who are into acrylics and they use them. Some of them because it's through necessity. Other reasons is they like it and it's what they've been using forever. And obviously you get the people who love the lacquers and all the rest of it. But, I'm always honest. When people say to me about, does lacquers smell? I always say yes. I'm not going to say no, because to me it doesn't, but I know it does. But lacquers absolutely stink. That's the trouble with it, and you really, really need to be in an environment to be able to use them. So, although forget about from a health and safety point of view, as said before, and I'll say it all the time, it doesn't matter what you're spraying. You should have a respirator on. You should have an extractor if you can. It doesn't matter if it's a 300 quid extractor or a 40 quid one off of Amazon. If it's pulling air out of your environment and hopefully the smell and the particles and all the rest of it, that's what you want to do. Because it's not the smell that's going to kill you. The smell won't kill you and give you lung damage. It's the particles. So it doesn't matter if they're enamel particles or acrylic particles or lacquer particles. They're the ones that adhere to the small little bits in your lungs and then screw you over. So, as I say, you always get these people say, oh, I've never sprayed lacquers. They're bad for your health. Really? I've spoken to somebody who's very, very knowledgeable about this stuff, and he fully informs me it's not the smell, it's the particles, and it doesn't matter what they are. So it's one of those ones. Health and safety comes first, and the rest of it is literally personal choice to what you want to do and what you get on with, isn't it?
It is, yeah, absolutely, yeah. If people are still comfortable using enamels, then why? Like I say, why change?
And sometimes you do get people, and I speak to loads of people about it, and they've got, they use like Humbrol paints all the time, and they've got all the tinlets, Yeah. So to switch over, there is a certain cost to this.
Yeah.
There is. So.
And plus, them tinlets are indestructible.
Well, yeah, they will last forever. Let's face it, as we've proven.
The thing is, though, you've got to think how pigmented the Umbros are. You don't need a lot, and they go a long way if you can get them out of the tinlet in the first place to obviously use them. I still think that's the only downside with the tinlets is the tinlets.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? I think they need to evolve something so it's easy, like a jar, like the Tamiya jars. I don't think it'd work in a dropper bottle because obviously they're too thick, but so you can stir them up properly because them tinlets are crap on, let's be honest.
But you think those tinlets have been around since the 50s, haven't they?
Yeah, well, hold on a minute, there you go, because I've got the Revel tinlets here. And really, do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah, they're a pain in the arse. That's how many of us have done the old trick of like pop the lid off and it flies through the air, straight down on the carpet, paint side down. Done that loads of times.
Yeah. But again, actually, enamel silvers and stuff are very good. Mm-hmm. And they always paint nice, as in brush paint. I was asking, can you remember this stuff that we all bought?
Well, no, you all bought. I never bought it. The one we can't pronounce the name because it's in Japanese.
I was asking John and Nathan last night. I said, have you actually used it yet? Because I don't think I've used mine. Because it's like watchmaker's glue in it, isn't it?
Yes. It dries crystal clear, isn't it? And hard.
Similar type thing.
Anyway. There you go. Krista says he's used some green on his latest diode. Looks very good. It's a bit small picture, admittedly, but he's got a picture of some rocks up there and various bits and pieces. Well, I think it is from here. My glasses. But yeah, very nice. But that's the point to it. The new range of washes, when eventually they do come out next month, you know, the whole point is that you can use it. I've used it on an ATAP, which you can't see really on camera, but this is when we were playing with it. But it's got the green on there. And we've done other things with the other colours on there, just to, you know, really just chuck it on and see what it'll do.
I tell you what, if you're doing abandoned stuff, it's going to be great.
Oh yeah, it's great for all of that.
Well, when I get round to finishing my base for my Sherman, I'll be using it on that.
Yes.
Because it'll be ideal for what I want. So it is actually sitting behind that camera looking at me.
Ooh.
I do need to get me motivation. Like I said, I've lost a bit of mojo with it at the minute. So.
But yes. David dropped his airbrush on the carpet.
Yeah, but he had his lid on.
Yeah, I've done that without the lid.
I know, I'm a bit of a sod for not putting the lid on my airbrush, to be honest.
Yeah, JB shook up a pot of Mr. Surfacer 1500 and the lid wasn't on properly. Yeah, I did that once with, what was that? That was, I've got a feeling it was extreme metals.
Oh.
And I did, you know, like you do. And then I looked at my hand and you've got it all over your hand. You're like, oh, where's that come from? And then I look over and it's still here to this day. It's up the wall. Little spots of it. And you're like, yeah. It's a bit, you look at the ceiling and it's like one of those cast-off spatters at a murder.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Dave's has dropped a bottle of Mr. Mahogany Surfacer. I think we've all done it, haven't we?
Mr. Mahogany Surfacer, that'd be a good one.
I think the worst thing is, you know, like the stirring sticks, the Tamiya stirring sticks, when you leave them in a jar and you...
Yeah. Yeah, they do catch them.
They're easy to catch, aren't they? I'm very conscious just to move it out of my range.
Yes. I must admit, I have to confess, I did do the old schoolboy error with the mixer the other day. I can't remember what I was mixing up, but I took it out whilst it's still going. I had a complete splatter across one of my new t-shirt. So, yes, that wasn't a good look. So my new Flooring Models t-shirt is ruined because it's got like literally a layer of lacquer paint right across it.
How is the merch?
Yeah. It's all there, literally. I just haven't got around taking some photos of this. The new polo shirts look like this, but they don't have the thing underneath it anymore. So I can't use the old photo, so I've got to take a new photo of it. Now it's a nice sunny day. I'll try and get it out there on a white sheet and take some photos of it.
Is that what we've been waiting for? Some good weather?
Would have helped.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to stay on the decking and model it like the CNA man.
You could lean on your veranda.
Lean on my decking, that's it, like you do.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you know. Pointing at something in the distance. Yeah. None of that, Phil.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, what's that over in the distance?
Proper catalogue posing, somebody next to you pointing.
Yeah, that's it. But no. So
I cannot model anything, John, when I'm down at his. Thank you. He hasn't got my size.
Oh, have all sizes. It's okay.
No. Get out to that one then. We'll get Lydia to do it.
Yes. Yeah, we need a youth.
We need a youth. Well, yeah. You can have an 8-year-old. She'll do it.
She'll do it. She'll be fine.
She likes having a photo taken and posing. Instagram
Yes, that's it.
generation, isn't it?
Yeah.
She's turning into it slowly. So, have you got her side?
No, but I can get one. It's not a problem.
Better.
I can order that next week.
If you ain't got one.
Yes.
I got told off because she wanted a new floral hoodie the other day.
Right.
Sorry, because she's got the old grey one.
Oh, right.
And like, why haven't I got a new this coloured hoodie and stuff? So I was like, all right, okay, it's sorted. Calm down.
Has anyone seen the Revell F15? Just because David's talking about the Great Wall Hobbies F15.
Well, ours are doing very soon.
Oh.
Ours are doing soon.
Cool.
So hopefully by the time I come to see you...
You bring it down?
Yes, I'll bring it down. I'll bring it on down. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hay fever. It's that time of year, people.
Yeah.
Allergies are back.
Yes.
And COVID, by the sounds of it.
COVID's always been there. It just got sidetracked for a couple of weeks.
All of a sudden, it's back again, isn't it? But yeah, I've never had hay fever, thankfully, or if I have, it's very, very, very mild. So
no, I've never had anything like that.
God, no. He says as he's about to sneeze.
Yes.
Colin! No.
That's because you don't have any plants.
We say you got any plants.
You need plants to get hay fever, don't you?
I can say, cacti don't give off.
Cacti and sand don't give off much. Tumbleweed.
That's a bit harsh. How warm is it out there? I bet it's blistering. 18 here, 35.
35. I was going to say, it's always around about that, and it doesn't get much cooler, does it?
I don't think it does it? What does it drop to on an evening? 32? 34 and a half? Because I bet you... Can you imagine trying to live there without air conditioning? Oh, God, you'd just be a pool of water. Yeah. Well, you would, wouldn't you?
I would.
You'd been out of you, you'd just be evaporated.
I don't do well in hot countries.
No. Is it that dry heat? Hey, is it that dry heat?
Yes, that's it. Look, it's 7 in Sweden. I'll be warming up there soon. The mosquitoes will be out in force.
Tropical, that is.
So it was 15 here yesterday. Don't know what it's been today. I haven't looked.
I think it's 18 today here or something. 17, 18. I'll tell you in a minute on my little warm... Oh, no, it's not on.
Oh, look, 4 degrees at night. See?
Oh, at least it's cool then.
It's all right. Summer's coming.
Yeah. I'll be 45 degrees then or something, won't it?
Yeah.
God. Yeah. Terrible.
So go on then. I'll throw it out if Matt won't. What would you like me to see me build after the F15, people? Bearing in mind you all know what I've got here. Or if not, PM's got it.
Oh God. I thought you'd already got your list.
I have. I was going to say, shall I remind everybody?
Well, yes, because it's been a while.
Obviously we've done the Hurricane.
Yeah.
So we got the Meng Abrams, if we wanted to do a bit of armour. The Trumpeter Sky Raider. Obviously we've done the Hornet, so we've got the... well, we can't do that yet because they're not in yet. When are the Hasegawa F4s due in? Not Hasegawa, the...
Tsukimori. Possibly tomorrow.
Oh, right, I know they're close, so yeah.
They're very close, and if it's in, I'll bring that down as well.
We got the Italeri Jag, a bit old school, admittedly, because don't forget this is a homage back to one of the very first videos we did in the 90s. And then obviously we got the Razor Crest, not Quest, even though it'd be better.
Not Boba Fett Starship.
Oh yeah, we have to call it that, don't we? Oh, Boba Fett Starship, yes. Or I might do a B-wing because I can get one of those locally very cheap, it turns out.
Oh yeah, don't forget the Lank.
Yeah, we need to get that in. I haven't got one here.
Oh, have you got one?
No, I haven't got one, have
Why
I?
didn't you tell me?
Well, I forgot.
Oh, all right then.
Stick that down on the thing, because yes.
I better get you one. I thought you actually got one, mate.
No,
to be
I haven't
honest.
got one here, no. Nope.
All right, we'll get that sorted then. That's more of a summer build, isn't it?
Yes.
It looks like the Razor Crest.
The Razor Crest. I'm just looking for me Boba Fett. Where's that gone?
I hope you've got it.
No, I have. There it is. Sorry. Yeah. So I was looking at my thing and I just couldn't see it. So, hold on. Look, we could do a dual.
Dual combo.
A dual combo. Both
Should be
level
all right.
3, so I should be alright.
Like I said, it'd be all right if they were the same scale.
Yeah, slight difference. Yeah, 188th or 172nd. Not that much in it. Bit of forced perspective. So
Yeah, I
it would
suppose.
just have to be like that.
Yeah.
Yes. So right, what have we got? F5. Did we say an F5?
No,
No.
you didn't. No.
Yeah, I might not do the Sky Raider quite yet because I'm getting off the back of the big stuff for the moment, but I will do it. Phil, you said you was planning on building the Eddard Spitfire. What
Did
year
you?
was that? I have got them all here in my defence.
To be fair, everybody's saying you should do the Star Wars stuff in December.
Yeah, which I probably will. Yeah, okay, well, we'll leave the Star Wars stuff for December, and I might do both of them. To mind you, I've already done a slave. Well, it's not a slave anymore, is it? Boba Fett Starship. Can't call it a slave.
You can't call it that anymore. No, it's
No.
not politically correct anymore, is it? I'm sort of toying with doing another car build.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously not this one because obviously it was already started.
Mm-hmm.
Or a half track.
Yes.
I was going to go for a Tamiya Classic actually. I have got a Hanamag or whatever it is, an SDK 251 with all bits and bobs for it.
Yeah.
I thought about doing, but then I don't know. Do.
Yeah, so that's my Abrams we got. It's the M1A2 with the Tux 2 system. So,
That'd be nice to build that. What are you doing about tracks?
well, you
To be
don't
honest,
see
you don't
most
see a lot of them, do you?
Yeah, I was
You
going
don't-
to say you do that. So yes,
You don't see it. Yeah, it's to be honest, all covered up. So there's no point in buying aftermarket because what do you see? It's a bit of a waste, isn't
yeah,
it?
that's it. I've had this kit so long that look at that is bleached.
Oh god, yeah.
I wouldn't say I've had this a while, but look at the difference. That might have been sat at that window pointing outwards for a few years. But yeah, so that's the option then.
I am doing the Super Freelon. I'm doing it actually. That was a video build, I don't think, but I am actually going to do it for the. I don't know. I was building it for something or other, weren't I? I can't remember. It's that long ago. But yeah, I'm going to dig that out. Actually, Christy, I was going to build a Tamiya one. I know the Dragon ones are brilliant. To be honest, and their off tracks are really nice, and I've got a ton of them on the roof. But I also think I don't know. I'm trying to think what I've got in my stash up on the roof because obviously there's a few up there. But I am going to be offloading my aircraft or most of them because they aren't going to get built. I just wanted to hang on to them to see if the mojo for aircraft came back, and it's just not. To be honest, I think that ship's flown, or aircraft has flown, if you want to say that. Do you know what I mean? So I will be offloading. I think most of my stuff on there, the aircraft wise. There'll be a few I keep, but a lot of them are going to go. So don't know. It's what as well would translate into doing a decent video build, isn't it?
Yes.
I think that is the thought process as well. Do you have that?
Yeah, I do, because obviously, from my point of view, I try and show something different in each video with any luck. So I don't. Otherwise, it would just be the same every single time. So sometimes when I'm planning a build or something else like that, I'll do it because I'll be using a certain technique on that one, or a certain aftermarket-y thing, or whatever it is. So definitely that always plays a big part. So like my list, the reason I did this list this year, I know it's like the go big, but we have got some 78 and 48 scale stuff in here. But some of them is like because they're going to be really popular, because you know the Lank one was always going to be popular anyway.
Yeah.
You know, and things like that. But again, like with the Hurricane, it's big, 24 scale. The only other 24 scale thing I've ever done is that Typhoon upstairs, which is the FX one. So again, the reason for doing this one was purely to show, because I know a lot of people worry about camo, and it's probably one of the biggest questions I get about, you know, do you freehand camo? And it's like, the whole point of this video is to prove that why would you want to? It's hard work. Especially if your mind is very like mine, probably OCD. Curves should be curves, and to put little finesses into camo is quite difficult. So by using just a simple thing of saying, well, I'm just going to blow up the instructions on a photocopier, stick them down and blow over it, and you're good to go. You know, and that was really the whole point about it, was like camo is not an enemy. It's not one of those you should really worry about, because there's lots of ways you can cheat and to go through. But then obviously on this as well, the nice thing is, because it's big, the weathering we can really, you know, go to town with, and everything else, because you can show it in detail. So especially on the underside, because it's light, you'll see it really well, but obviously on the top as well. So definitely that's a consideration when I'm doing it, is to work out how you can show it the best way and as easily. But also as well, it sounds a bit bad, but if people say certain things like it's unbuildable is a trigger for me, because I like to prove the fact that it is. And then obviously if people say about, doing things a certain way is wrong or old school or old fashioned, I see that as a trigger. So I'm quite happy then to sort of prove people wrong and say, no, you can do it because you can do it like this, or why would you overcomplicate it and do it more simply, and various things. So
I think the thing is, you know, like in chat, people are putting up, why don't you build like this, that, and the other? Do you know what I mean? I think what you got to think is as well, you've got to build something that's interesting for Phil to build, and same for me here. Because if you've done it, didn't you, with that Starship Enterprise thing? You weren't into that at all, were you? Let's be honest. It's not your thing at all. No. And it becomes a struggle. That's the thing. You know, it's all right saying like the B36P mate, but the kit's crap. It's raised panel lines. It's as old as we are. It's massive as well, isn't it? And would it make a good video build? Probably not. I don't think. Is it something you're interested in?
Yeah. No, again, it's big, it's gangly, it's very difficult to be able to do it. So again, it's one of those, like if you're doing like something like a Peacemaker, from a build point of view, from a modelling point of view, there's not a lot of difference between a B17, because it's similar, obviously, colours you're going to be using, techniques for weathering and things like that are all roughly going to be the same. Okay, the build's going to be different. But again, you've got something that, isn't the Peacemaker probably the biggest out of them all?
It's massive.
I remember building the 72nd one. It was stupid. It was huge.
Yeah, well, that's the one. That's the one that was just shouted up, the 72nd Peacemaker, and it's just massive. It'd be hard to film it as well, I think, because it's so big and so like a drain pipe, isn't it?
Yeah. There you go. Krista's done a zebra half track.
Well, it's a little one, isn't it? Yeah. He said he's done about it. The thing is, though, if you're doing the Spitfire, it's just on the Hurricane, so it's kind of the same.
I did a Spitfire, don't forget, just before that. That's the other thing as well. I can't just keep doing Spitfires. So.
Yeah, that's never going to happen. The border models, one Lank, never going to happen. You can shout it as loud as you want, it just ain't going to happen.
Do you know what? There's something.
I despise that kit.
I despise that kit as well.
I'll come out with it and say on here,
I will as well.
I despise that kit and everything about it.
Yeah, it doesn't do a single thing for me.
No.
But also the thing is, I think it's got that. To me, it's got a really bad taste because of the way it's been come out and been released and everything that goes with it. And to be honest, there's so many do-gooders about it. It doesn't do anything for me at all.
No.
So,
and to be honest as well, I think it's just too big. You know, and that's, I'm not building aircraft anymore or whatever, but it's just massive in it, and it's you know, that front end's not got much further. That's not very big, but
to be honest, that's the one to do. Is to say you
it's
can do
no, it
really
is.
nice
And
thing
that,
with the
you
front
know,
end.
that is
I
that is
really,
actually,
really hope they do release the rest of them like it. I think if they did like a, you know, as I say, large scale stuff, just the nose sections, I still think there's a market for that. Phil, do a helicopter. I would do helicopters all the time. That's my favourite thing to do. Literally, I'd be very happy to do helicopters all the time. I still find, from a build point of view, I think they're the most interesting because they're compact. Yeah. Even if you're doing a 32nd, it's still compact, or a 35th scale, and you can go to town with the weathering with helicopters. That's a nice thing as well. I'd be quite happy to do helicopters all the time because that's my favourite area of doing the modelling. But again, from a build point of view with you guys, it's one of the more niche sides of it. So,
you see, that's, you know, I've been toying with doing a helicopter. I'll be honest, because I like helicopters. I think they're brilliant. I just, yeah, like you say, it is a bit nichey, isn't it? I'm afraid.
Yeah.
So, don't know. Do you play safe or do you build what you want?
Well, I try and do a little bit of both these days.
Yeah.
In the early days, I was a right pleaser. I'd do anything for a sub.
Great money.
Yeah, that's it. I was easily bribed. But yeah, I think, you know, nowadays I try and do a little bit of a balance. But most people don't mind what I build either. Honest question,
Neil.
what is wrong with the way that Border Models did the Lank? I thought they bought the models. No. Again, Neil, I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole. I'm privy to certain information on both sides of this, and I can see both companies' points of view, and various things to it. It was just, it's not only that. Let's just put it that way. It's not just that one. It's just that at the end of the day, I just think that the way Border Models went about it was slightly underhand. I think the way that obviously Wings went about closing down the company was terrible. Absolutely can't stand by that at all. So I think everybody was at fault with it. But again, that's not the reason why I would never build one and all the rest of it. I wouldn't build one because I think it literally is too big. I think it's not, I couldn't fit it in here. That's my point to it. And for a build video and all the rest of it, John Tigger Wilkes bought his Lank round here when he did the HK one. And I was building the B-52 at that point. And me and him both discussed about how a pain in the arse it was because it is so big. Dealing with it, holding it to do work on it even and everything else. It's a big lump. And he brought his round here and had it on this desk. And, you know, it's amazing. He did a fantastic job on it. Don't get me wrong, but it's way too big. And I think he would agree with that as well.
I think you were glad to see the back of that, weren't you?
I think so.
AMP Gazelle.
Yes.
That's I've actually got one of them here. I was going to bring it to show Phil. Unfortunately, AMP are in the Ukraine, and I don't quite know what's happened to that company or what at the moment. So it was one of them we was trying to get some in, but obviously that's not going to happen at the minute. So Sky Raider would be a good shot. But I tell you what, I'm surprised you've gone for the 32nd one. I would have thought you'd have just gone for the Asagawa 48th one and.
Well, you got your Tamiya one as well, don't forget.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant, the Tamiya one, sorry, not the Asagawa one. They did the 72nd one. The 48th one, because again, that is a big aeroplane. That is a huge lump.
To be honest, the reason that's an itch I want to scratch, you see, because I've had that kit since it got released and it has never left my stash. And I also had, at the same time, the Zukamori one. Zukamori one here, which actually we gave away with all the stuff with it. We did it as a prize. But again, I would always build the Trumpeter one over the Zukamori one because I think the Zukamori one's too complicated. Well, for what you're going to see at the end of it.
Yes.
So, but anyway, I've had that since it literally got released. I've had it here, so it's an itch I want to scratch by doing that one. And to be honest, I got the Skyhawk here as well, and I want to do that one as well, the 32nd, but I won't do that for a few years. But they are two kits that I've had here in my stash for eons, and I would like to build those.
Well, it's fair if you want. Yeah, it's the thing though. You just have it a bit nail on the head. If that's what you want to build, and obviously being in sea camo, which is probably up there with the Israeli camo.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, that's it. No, very nice. Airfix train. Phil, do a train. Again, I'd like to do a train. Trains are definitely, I would. I know I'm going to get grief from the other half, whatever I did. But again, it's one of those where I think with the weathering on trains, I was down our local steam place the other week, and I was taking loads of photos, and it's amazing how trains corrode. You know, they get that proper, you get that oily look to the paintwork where it's corroding around it and there's oil and water, because it's water and oil. It's great for rust. But they've got, thick, greasy areas. You've got high polished areas. You've got normal paint. You've got weather paint. I think you could do a lot with it, and go through the motions of doing it. So in some ways I'd like to do it. But again, it's one of those, to find a nice, decent train kit. Obviously, I know there's a few out there, but...
Trouble is, if you literally are looking at German World War II trains. If you're going, I'm thinking Hobby Boss do some, I think, in 72nd, and I still think they're German.
Yeah, I think they are.
Because obviously that was their main form of transport for moving stuff around. Their train network was their lifeline, really.
Yeah.
So you can see, and obviously, you doing a British train would be a bit limited, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
As in, I suppose on the continent, they got around a bit, didn't they?
Yeah.
But what would you do? A proper sort of steam train, or would you want to do later?
No, it'd probably be a steam train.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Would you have one in mind, or if you could do something?
To be honest, I'm not massively up on all of these things, you see. I know my other half, as we know, is an anorak. So she would. And I'm sure she'll know all the ones, but as I say, I've been asked a few times to do trains, as in like the bigger ones. I've shown them on here as well. I've done some bigger ones occasionally. I've done a bit of pieces with them, and I often think, oh, they're amazing and fantastic, these 500 quid trains, and and you think, oh, it'd be quite nice to build something like that, but I don't think there's a kit manufacturer who does those types of things.
No, like I said, there's only really Trumpeter and stuff who've gone near trains. That I can recall. I presume somebody will shout up, no, such and such. I can remember, I tell you what, from a kid, can you remember Airfix did a Wild West train?
Yes, yeah, with the big funnel.
With the big red wheels and the
big wheel and the massive funnel, yeah.
But I don't think that was their kit. I think it's a Reeboks of somebody else, and I'm sure somebody in chat will shout up, but I can distinctly remember that kit. Because it had the big cow plough thing on the front as well, didn't it? The big grill thing, or whatever you call them. Yeah. Sorry, I don't know what they're called, but Airfix did a few of the little ones, didn't they?
Yeah. Don't know. As you say, that's an itch I would like to do. I'd like to have a go at doing a train and various things to that, So, but again, it's my heart is with aviation, shall we say? But that's definitely stuff I would like to do.
There could be an auction coming up.
I was going to say, me and we were discussing this morning, so
we have discussed about doing an auction. So we just need to get a thing together, really, and a cow catcher. Is that what it is, Peter?
Is that what it is?
I'm not quite up, but they were cool looking bits of kit back in the day. The Revel Big Boy. That's an old American train, I think.
Yeah, because what scale was the one that Thingy did? On the site. Oh, is it the Hobby Boss one or Trumpeter? It's the German train. It's quite a big one.
1/35 is one scale, and I think Hobby Boss do it in 72nd.
But he did like a 35th scale Trumpeter one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Comes with a bit of track and all the rest of
They're
it.
bringing a new diesel out at some point.
Yeah, Krista did it.
I don't think it's out yet. The diesel. I think that's coming out this year. But it was just used for shunting the big guns around, I think.
Yeah.
Did a bit of research at the time, Is it? Anyway, 4:00 already.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, because if Thingy's going to be doing it, Spencer's doing his 30-second one as a video thing. He's doing it as a commission. Apparently he's doing videos for it on Facebook. You can watch that one.
Who's that?
Spencer Pollard. Isn't he doing one as a commission? I thought I was just reading the chat. It's further up, also saying he's doing commission a few videos. Oh, no, that's for a 70-second one. But also, I think he's doing. I'll read it up here. Yeah, Spencer Pollard's doing a 30-second HK models for a commission.
Yeah, huge kit, fast amount of work to make the finished model look really good and realistic. I think he's gave up on doing his vids, hasn't he?
Don't know.
We'll get Jamie's doing vids now. He can do one.
Jamie said he was getting this kit as well, so Jamie will do a video
Jamie says
for
he
you.
can do a video build on it. There you go. And in fact, Jamie, we'll send you the bison. You can do that as well. Free of charge. I'll even pay for postage to you.
Yes.
These two, no, they're not, Neil. They're just going to be as and when we can do them. So no, it's not going to be a regular every Tuesday afternoon, because obviously we do have other things to do as well. But when we can do them, we are going to do them, because obviously the Saturday morning ones has dropped off a bit as well for other reasons, haven't they? Like life and families, but Tuesday afternoon seems to be.
Yeah, we were being back with just discussing obviously about doing some live stuff with you guys and getting back that side of it again, because we quite enjoy doing this, and it was that thing about when we can do it, and we were actually saying Tuesday afternoon is probably the best.
Well, because obviously Wednesday mornings we do PM, Thursday nights we do the live stuff, Mondays you're busy anyway, Fridays I'm too knackered and can't be bothered on a Friday afternoon, if I'm honest. I'm had enough. So Tuesdays is about the best day, because it is probably the quietest day this side of it as well. And probably for you. Yeah,
it is. It's my quietest day.
So I mean, we was planning today of doing a bit more building than chatting, so we're going to have to find a balance, because that was the plan, wasn't it? To do a bit more building and chatting, but obviously today we've just gassed, and but it's nice actually to have the chat on actually,
touch base and just have a yap.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. You know, so we'll see. But yeah, I don't think they're going to be every week, are they, for definite? But no. We'll see. We'll see what happens. As in, if we do twice a month or once a month or whatever. Yeah.
No, we do them as and when we can, guys. So say, just keep an eye out for it. I'll drop it in on the day before or whatever as well, so we know what we're doing. So
we'll get a bit more notice as well.
Yes. Because the bit where Matt said, "Are you going to put a note
today?" We did it this morning when we had a chat. Like, "Are we doing a show today?" I'm like, "Well, I did mention it Friday, didn't you?"
Yeah, so I did mention it on the Friday show.
Because nothing's been put up. I was like, "All right, okay." And then, shall we? All right, we'll do it.
We'll do it. Yes.
Yeah.
Good job.
I hope somebody else got some modelling done while we've been rabbiting on anyway.
Yes. There you go. They're all saying they're at work. Listening to us at work makes work go better. That's all right.
Podcast. We're turning into a podcast.
Yes.
We could just turn the cameras off and have
we turn the cameras off, blank screen, podcast.
Yeah, we could do some modelling and just.
That's it.
Yeah.
But anyway, we will be back. Well, not live, clearly, because we do it as a recorded show. But we'll be back with you tomorrow morning for the PM show. So if you've got any questions for the PM side of things, post up now in the forum, please. And we'll answer your questions. We can get to them beforehand and go through those. And then obviously we'll be back with you on Thursday night, live 7:30, as we make our way through.
Is that it? You've finished, Jamie? You're back home for good, or are you just coming home?
Oh, yeah. Are you back for good, or are you?
Are you back?
Is that it? Jesus, he's going to be skint if he comes home.
Yeah, don't come home.
Yeah, don't come home. Price
of
fuel over here.
Fuel? Hey, can you smuggle us some fuel back?
Yeah. Forget bringing model kits back. Bring fuel.
Yeah, it's like that thing I put up, won't it?
That's it.
Like dealing petrol.
Dealing little bags of petrol.
Little bags of petrol with me. That's brilliant, isn't it? Just put that up. It was really good. It's a tracksuit.
No, he's just back from Ramadan. Fair enough.
All right, fair enough.
Cool. Right, okay then, guys, we will leave it like that. Thank you very much for joining us this afternoon. It's been a pleasure as always. As I say, you can catch us tomorrow. Obviously, we'll be back with you Thursday. And to be honest, you're bang up to date with everything, so I've got to crack on for the next couple of days, otherwise we won't going to have any videos for Friday.
And I ain't got one tomorrow, I'm afraid.
No, see, we're very bad. We're a bit slow. It's taken me 4 days to deck all this thing. So, but anyway, that's done. And so I'll crack on with the hurricane tomorrow, and then obviously we're going to get the weathering started on that and move through. So hopefully the next part of that will be up with you on Friday, and then by then, because of the weekend, my other half's working, so I'll be working all weekend on this thing as well, so we can push through and get that one done. Right, thank you very much for joining us. We will see you all again very, very soon. Happy modelling, take care. I've got to find the off button. Say goodbye, Matt, right out of here.
Goodbye.
Charles, bye.